The anime arc Fetus was made by SMG4. Fetus is one of the most absolute masterpieces. Yeah. Now, anime arc is one of the most longest arc than Waluigi arc. If we get a skill, I think Waluigi arc is a bit longer than the anime arc is one of the most longest arc so far. If this anime arc go very well, or Waluigi arc, or maybe the arc are just gone downhill. The anime arc will start off the Mario Challenge videos. Well, the anime challenge I meant. And yes, the first half of the anime arc is start of the anime challenge where making you better training for the next part phase. However, because Bob and Toby want to be an anime challenge, but however, Maggie still cannot stand anime since last year. Like Waluigi arc, the anime challenge was quite funny to watch that. However, it made us laugh. After that anime challenge video, when President Peach tell everyone to ban anime. And then we legal Operation Fetus, where Mario, Luigi and others who try to get anime back to normal. While SMG4 was working with ASS on purpose, and he wishes students join with ASS like that. And we already recognize that voice, which is correct, as like Mario's there trying to stop Mario and others for anime stuff like that. And then inside the lemon machine, as we feel that Francis, we try to help everyone to get anime back on Mushroom Kingdom. However, SMG4, Bob and Psycho going to Japan, except Mario. And Mario is completely left behind because Francis blocked his way. Will block Mario's way. And he's telling to get our money from Lemonade Stand. The final star of Maggie was furious trying to find Mario if Mario will skip the Splatfest training. While we see Tori crying on this Lemonade Stand, and yes, Mario built Lemonade Stand right in front of the milk factory where Jeffy was working at. And Mario to get Francis as a backup to get Ben's help to get more money because of Jeffy. It looked like Mario stealing Jeffy's job. And we could see Waluigi all appeared in a minor appearance in the arc. And of course he back to the taco stand again. Wow. Never seen that coming. While Maggie had arrived, she's found Mario after searching for past 2 videos, which is a 4th wall break-in. And Maggie will take both Mario and Tori to the Splatfest training while they find Luigi. The video was start off the Japan trip to show what SMG4 was been up to. SMG4 Bob King and Psycho was in Japan, and then they had to find Axel, who loved anime. And yes, but they had to pursue Axel, where Axel using both Snorlax and Thomas's tank engine. When Axel first met SMG4, Psycho, Bob, and Bob finally, SMG4, Psycho, Bob, and Bob explained Axel which the anime was banned in Mushroom Kingdom, which gave Axel a bit shock. Now, it looked like Axel had an evil laugh, but it's not because he went too exciting for anime. Yeah. And the video start of the Maggie's boot camp, where Maggie's tried to train of Mario, Luigi, and Tori. After these obstacle course going wrong, while Maggie was completely frustration, then she went back to rooftop where Mario and Battle on video sat, and Maggie started crying. Yeah. That's the third time when Maggie crying, but she completely cried very hardly. And then Maggie tell Lisa told to get back to training better. After they done training, they still show up, had finally reappeared again. And yes, we never seen Destiny for such a fire since last year. And now she's back. And she steal all the special weapons from Maggie, Mario, Luigi, and Tori. And that's where the video was start of Mario's showdown. Mario, Maggie, Luigi, and Tori try to get a special weapon back from Destiny because of Destiny kicked it out and set up a wall of guns. And the scene was cut to the airport where a crate and like Master blocked the way because they tried to send Psycho back to Japan, but actually create an enemy to let them run while Chris and Master pursued them. And then they find a reunion together. And we could see that Shumi was all appeared in a flashback back to Scout Boy again, which we all realizing. And then make it to actually, but not all let to get their spat weapons back first because they need their spat weapons for to rescue enemy. After making order retrieve the spat weapons from Destiny, and then Vito was also start of the Mario saved enemies. While Mario and Ola try to get to Prince Peach Castle to see Peach, then that is going to be our favorite fun in Vito so far. While Mario and Ola try to get enemy on band, they had to get Swag Martin on the basement, and then Mario broken axe had finally reached Prince Peach. Then Prince Peach snapped her finger to get enemy back on Mushroom Kingdom again. And Mega, who wanted to have a happy ending at the Splatfest itself. However, the enemy arc is not over yet. However, it charts our first half of the enemy arc so far. The final start of the second half of the enemy arc. Now, the Splatfest is supposed to be ended, but it's called the Splatfest Accident, and yes, it starts on the second half of the arc. The final start of in the changing room, when SMG4 to everyone have to see Maggie. And yes, that is going to be a spoilers alert as well if you guys cannot watch anime yet. While Mario, Tori, Luisa, and Bob was doing Splatfest, Destiny was shot and she realized that the Maggie was not there, and it turned out it's Bob. However, Bob was doing nothing, but it's quite funny to see that. And he don't know what Splatfest all about. Back in the changing room, when Destiny was terrorizing for others, and Destiny complained about that Bob, who doing nothing, and example Lucy disappointed. When Destiny tell everyone they had to find Maggie, but Tori think Maggie was overslept, so they had to start at Maggie's home. However, like Mystery of Mist and Blue and White Fatal from last 6 years, when first Broken thing Maggie was falls asleep, and then they enter the Maggie's apartment, and they realize that Maggie was being kidnapped by a mysterious figure. And Broken found that enemy DVD was being left by somebody who take Maggie. And they also have a civil war, which just doesn't help. And then Destiny, Mario, Tori, and Lisa had to go and find Maggie, while SMG4, Psycho, Bob, and Bob began searching for clues. And later got to the very unknown island or location where Maggie was at. And Maggie was realizing she'd been changed up. And the mysterious figure gave a breakfast to Maggie, and then Maggie was being locked up again. and the fatal start of the England's disappearance. Yet, like mystery of missing a blue or white fetus from last 6 years, Tori, Mario, Dexter, Alicia had to find Axel, which will look like Axel's kidnapped Maggie, but it's not. So spoilers alert. While Mario, Alicia, Tori, and Dexter was encounter that guy from Death Note, who tried to tackle him but also tried to kidnap Dexter. After Dexter being rescued, the firing, but the enemy characters drop sudden and it's revealed it's the map to lead to the enemy island, and yes, where Maggie was at. The scene was cut to Maggie who'd been stuck at the enemy island. And Maggie was completely terrified at these two where the England was at. And yes, this is a very disturbing video at all. And then it's cut back. Well, it's cut to the airport where Bob, King, SMG4 and Psycho was at. But they think Chris and Pragmatic kidnap Maggie, but they're not. But they just pack things up. But Swagmaster was crying for a bit. I would never see him crying since, well, unknown reason. And now Chris and Swagmaster decide to help SMG4 order to rescue Maggie. While they're on the ship, the Godzilla was appeared. And yes, Godzilla was original from Japan since 1954. And Godzilla kidnapped Dexter. And this is at the end of the video. Now spoilers alert. When Maggie was still handcuffed by these enemy characters, and she realized that Axel was being kidnapped as well. And then this video had end. Now the video started off of Mario and the experience. And yes, like Waluigi from Waluigi Org, the kidnap, now spoilers alert, the kidnapper was revealed that Francis, and yes, he is a kidnapper after all, and Francis was got enemy islands for whole time after 2 years, until finally revealed. The scene was cut to SMG4 others on a ship trying to rescue Maggie, and then Godzilla was arrived, and then they started attacking on the ship. However, when Boken got knocked down by Godzilla, the Joe Boken had arrived to take out Godzilla. And yes, Joe Boken is the strongest than Godzilla. And Godzilla had defeated. And the scene where Mega Death was at tried to escape from enemy island as they could. While they find Axel going to have a chopper son to take out Francis' minions because he got no ink river on him. While Mega Death took out the one last Francis minions, but they got hit by Coco on Super Saiyan form, and Axel got knocked down, and he realized that he had the biggest tube when Mega was about to end it, and the videos had ended. The World War Mario has started with essence for others reaching enemy islands at long last. Now, this is one of the most darkest video so far. While Mario SMG4 was battled through these goons, but the crest got shot, but almost died, but got patched up by Luigi. While they entered the enemy island belting, if you could see Maggie was being drained by Francis. While SMG4 also confront Francis, which Francis is the kidnapper after all, but they thought Axel was the kidnapper, but it's not. Because Axel was innocent. And it's a bit fun how they break Francis' glasses while SMG4 others charging at Francis. While Destiny, who tried to hold and with her after freeing Maggie. But Maggie was not free yet, but she completely trapped. After the battle against that sword guy, however, Destiny last moment before she gets stabbed by the same enemy characters again. And Francis was already draw it. And yes. But Destiny's very last word said, "You have to win the Splatfest for me, Maggie." And then she died. The final start of the final hour, and that is one of the most biggest spoilers so far when I was doing this review. Myron and others had a final fight against Francis himself. But Chris, Wagmaster, Bob had a fight with a tank to take out multiple swordmen. But when Francis and one was the first quote line from last year, film called Infinity War, he said you should go for the head. And then he drew a Coco, but Axel get his ink wafer back. But however, the ink was already used up by Francis. So Axel had to get the ink for Maggie so he can able to summon in Shaggy. While Shaggy will fight against Super Saiyan Coco, but they have to put Francis to end this. While Psycho will put Francis on the tube to let Francis die. And Psycho called Francis a jackass, which is very funny to hear that. And then Coco used self-destruct by SMG4 to others to get out of there. While Francis was chopped inside tube to death. While Shaggy rescued SMG4 others as well Destiny's corpse, but also rescued other England as well Maggie, who now I believe is a human. But Maggie almost died, but she's a human. And the ending scene was not a happy ending. Because we could see that Destiny was now dead and they never ever revived. And we could see Maggie crying again in the human form. And we'll never ever see both Destiny and Francis again. Because they both are dead. I know that it's not a very happy ending of these anime arcs so far. And yes. Now SMG4 features will go back to regular features next week time. We will see Maggie in England form again in the future features. I know she's a human form, but now, like Shumi from Bob Rapper Arcs, then Shumi was a robot, and then he back to his own body again are the most important things. I'm not sure if Maggie will go back to England form again, or maybe she was still human form like that, but we could see Maggie in both England form or human form in future SMG4's features at some time. So what do you guys think about anime arc features? It's quite good or bad. However, it's quite good, but the scene was not that happy ending. I going to give anime arc a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. I hope you guys enjoy watching these review videos. And please leave comments below. Please add like and favorite to my videos. Please subscribe and follow into my channel if you're new to me. And peace, man, shorts. I hope you enjoy it. Peace, man, and shorts.